ladies and gentlemen. How are you today? God does work things out for a purpose. I asked Nzinga if I could stall because I was waiting for my friend, but now things flow so that her end is my beginning. And that's just how I was going to start out with. We are all created for a purpose. How many of you know why you're here? How many of you have something you're passionate about that you just know you're good at, you know loved it? What is it?
Well, music is my thing.
Music, okay.
Right, yes.
A certain instrument? Or?
Singing.
Singing. Her voice is her instrument. Beautiful. I met an actress, Teresa, my new friend. She's passionate about asking. We are all wired with gifts that God put inside us, and a lot of people live their entire lives frustrated because they're not using the gifts that God put in us. We're all put here for a purpose. My favorite quote, Scottish theologian William Barclay said, there are two great days in a person's life: the day we're born and the day we discover why. Wow. So as a life purpose coach, I try to encourage everybody to live in their why. As Nzinga said, my motto is use your passion to live in your purpose. And for me, I knew that why when I was 15 years old. When I was a little girl, from the time I was a little girl, I loved to write. When I was mad at somebody in my family, I write them a letter detailing the heinous crimes they committed against me, why I wasn't going to be their friend anymore. My brother called them hate notes, because he got most of them. But by the time I was 15, I knew that I wanted to be an author. But I didn't have enough confidence in my dream to go after it. So when my counselor said, you should go to school for engineering, that's a good field for women, I said, okay. I went to school, started as a chemical engineering major, hated it. Transferred to business, that was better, went on, got my MBA. My mom would always say when I was in school, you should work at the bank. I said, I don't want to work at the bank. You should work at the bank. She'd always say, I don't want to work at the bank. So, of course, I wanted to get back to Chicago after I graduated, so I took the first job offer that came my way. What do you think it was? The bank. So I ended up working at the bank. I worked at the bank for 16 and a half years, but I never let anybody call me a banker, because I didn't feel like that's who I was. I wasn't a banker. I just worked at a bank. But wherever I was at that bank, I worked in every line of business, I think. And I always ended up being the newsletter editor, or the person who wrote the training manual, or the disaster recovery manual, if training needed to be done, or some presentation. I was always the one they found. So after a while, I started saying, you know, wait, maybe this writing thing really is something I should do. Now, I had been through 3 mergers. Getting old. I was really, really tired. I got to the point where I hated my job. Anybody ever experienced that Sunday night depression? You get that pit in your stomach. I got to go there again for a whole week. So that's how I was feeling those days. And I got so miserable. I had a coach. And he asked me, why do you think you're so miserable? I said, I think God has allowed me to be so miserable that I don't have a choice but to leave. So I started feeling, I was at home and I hear this voice saying, start cleaning up your office. You know, your second bedroom, turn it into an office. Get rid of that desktop computer, get a laptop, because you're going to be traveling. You're going to need a laptop when you travel. Okay, I started cleaning up. I got rid of the desktop, got my laptop. I'm thinking, okay, I'm done. That's what I was supposed to do. I'm done with it. I'm sitting at work. I hear the same voice. Start cleaning out your desk. Start getting rid of stuff. You're not going to be here long. I'm thinking, well, where am I going? I don't know where I'm going, but for some reason, I just thought it had something to do with my writing. I had met Les Brown by that time, and I started working with him for speaker training. And through networking, my favorite book says, your gift makes room for you and brings you before great men. I met Dr. Miles Monroe, George Fraser, a guy named Jim Stovall, no relation, but a Christian writer and businessman. He introduced me to, Mark Victor Hansen introduced me to him. They all became part of my network. So when you use your gift, God opens up those doors and guides you into the places where you're supposed to be. So I told my coach all that. I started cleaning out my desk at work. There happened to be a dumpster in the area because we were going through some stuff. So I started dumping stuff. I'd stay after work after my coworkers were gone, and I just started dumping stuff. Anybody ever heard of a severance package? Yeah. I started feeling, I had made up in my mind. I said, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to get a severance package. I'm going to be out of here. It was November. I remember it was November. See, I'm letting y'all know how old I am to tell you how long I worked in the bank, what year that was. Anyway, so I said, I know what's going to happen. I said, Christmas is coming. I'm going to leave for the holidays, and I'm not going to have to come back anymore. So I started getting really excited. So Christmas came, January came. I'm back at my desk, and I'm just depressed. I said, God, I thought I was supposed to be gone. Why am I still here? But the feeling didn't go away. So that Friday, it was January 5th. That Friday, I just felt like it. I said, today is the day. I said, they're going to give me my severance package today. So my boss came and she called me and she asked me to come in her boss's office with her. And I went in there and they slid this piece of paper across the table to me. So of course I'm acting serious, like I didn't expect it. And they said, and inside I'm like jumping up and down, and they said, well, you have so many gifts and talents. There's so much you can do. I said, I already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to be speaking, and I'm going to meet Les Brown. My boss said, Les Brown, we had him speak at our national sales conference. You got to be hungry. And I'm looking at them. I'm thinking, okay, you're firing me, and you're getting excited when I tell you what I'm about to do. Something's wrong with that picture. But that bank ended up being my very first client. They paid me to go speak to their women's network in Tampa. So it's something about the way God works things out. So my first book, Crossing the Threshold. Oh, and there are other things. This is another thing about what God does when you have a vision. I do vision board workshops as well. I do my own workshops and programs. And I had a vision of things I wanted to do. I knew from the time I graduated from college that I wanted to teach on the college level. I've taught at 4 schools now. And God dropped all the opportunities in my lap. I didn't have to go beating down doors to get them. I'd apply for something, I'd hear about something and say, okay, I think I'd like to do that. And I'd get the call. I decided I wanted a radio show. So I wrote down, these are all the people I'm going to have on my show. This is what I'm going to talk about. These are the topics. I got a call out of the blue from a man. He said, I'm a general manager of a radio station. He said, I don't know how I ended up on your newsletter list. He said, but I really like what you have to say, and I'd like to know if you'd like to have a radio show on my network. So for a year, he gave me a free radio show on his network. So when you have that vision, that plan of what it is that you're passionate about, God will start to open those doors. So my first book came through just a telephone conversation. Me and a friend talking about relationships, the doormat mentality that some people have, and how you allow people to walk on you. The other end of the spectrum, the door prize, the woman who thinks it's all about her, she's the prize. And then the doorbell, the Proverbs 31 woman, the one that's rooted and grounded and knows who she is. She gives not because she's trying to buy somebody's affection, but because that's just the person that she is. So it's all about being your best. Instead of looking for qualities in other people, just develop the right qualities in yourself. And I've done business relationship workshops even based on the same book. Then I got bored while I was waiting for the book to be printed, so I wrote an ebook called, it was going to be 20 questions you should ask before you say I do. It ended up being 150 questions you should ask before you say I do. I'm a writer, so I interviewed people. I interviewed couples. What do you wish you would ask before you got married? And then my business partner and I do vision board workshops together. We have a program called 7 Secrets to Ignite Your Dreams. So that's an audio book. I also have another one called Pump It Up, where I have some powerful women that I interviewed. It stands for Pursue Your Passion, Utilize Your Uniqueness, Make a Plan, and Persevere with Positivity. And so we have them speaking on each one of those points. And then my latest book, this was another God thing, because I told God, I'm like the kid at the candy store. You get to the front, you're about to check out, and the kid sees the candy and they say, can I have this? Can I have this? And sometimes the parent just says okay and buys it to him. So I figure I may as well ask. So I'm not shy about asking for stuff. So I asked God, I said, I self-published my first book. I said, I would really like to get a publishing deal for this second book. So can I I said, I don't want to shop it around. I don't want to have to get an agent and all that. I said, I just want a deal. So a friend of mine, Kiela, my business partner, told me about a contest that Hay House was having. They have a nonfiction contest every year. And I decided, you guys heard of Hay House? Yeah. I know you have. And they're the #1 publisher of inspirational books. And I said, well, this will motivate me to finish this book, because I actually had started Light Bulb Moments before I started Crossing the Threshold. But then I just set it aside. Don't we do that sometime? And so I said, well, this will motivate me to go ahead and finish this book. So I found out about it in the spring. The deadline was in September. So about a week and a half before the contest, I said, I guess I better finish writing this book. So I turned in my manuscript 3 hours before the midnight deadline that night. And out of 4,000 submissions, I ended up winning the contest. So my latest book, Light Bulb Moments, 75 Lessons for Everyday Living, is just about those just everyday things that give you that life lesson and how we apply that to your life. So I just talk about those experiences I had and how you can take those and apply that to your life, because we're all in a process of growth. So as Nzinga said, I'm also a life purpose coach. So I have some programs that if you're interested, you can get more information about them. One is called 5 Weeks to Personal Breakthrough. It was designed to be a phone coaching program, group coaching, but the ladies always want to do it in person, so it ends up being an in-person 5 weeks. We spend a couple of hours together and just get you from actually understanding your why, crystallizing your vision for your life, to setting those goals, to actually moving forward in those goals. By week 3, you actually got your goals and you're starting to be accountable and move forward in them. So if you want more information about that, anybody who signs up gets a free book called 101 Ways to Improve Your Life, and Pin Your Purpose workshop I have, vision board workshop. So if anybody wants information on any of the books or products or programs, please come see me afterwards.